Please take your seats quickly.
Hi guys, and welcome to 1 Minute Tennis. Today I want to talk to you about a question that a lot of subscribers have actually been asking over quite a period of time. And that is, Steve, how do we play slow floated balls? The tennis is great and all your tips and tricks seem to work when we've got a high tempo game where the ball is fast and I'm playing good players. But when I play lower level players and they just float the ball in the air with this sort of helium ball, dinking type ball, then everything seems to disappear and my quality goes right down. How do I dominate and control those players? And a lot of them add the phrase that probably doesn't relate to any of you guys: this is driving me crazy. So, few things I want to cover with this. The first one to clarify is that this is not necessarily low level play. Some of the best players I've ever seen are able to change the speed and tempo of the points. Roger Federer hits very fast and then very slow. Andy Murray, marvellous control of the slow ball. And you see Djokovic at the moment, particularly when he plays Medvedev, where the baseline is nearly a mirror of himself, he will try and change the tempo of the points. Because if he just goes toe to toe, then those extra 10 years start to show on him. So it's not necessarily low level. But what I want to do is explain very quickly how most ATP Tour players finish those points, why we can't do it the same way, and how we can do it the way that Roger Federer does it, why he does it differently, and how it's better. So to get to the point, the way that most ATP Tour players play this ball is to let the ball come to the top of its bounce, so it is almost weightless, and then load enormous amounts of weight and pressure into their legs, and then with very strong upper body swing through the ball precisely, and they put the ball away. It's a pretty flat ball, hitting it from a high angle, so they're using geometry to their advantage. Now, me and most of you watching are going to have a few problems with this. For me, it's the fact that I'm 172 or 5'8", so I'm pretty small to be trying to finish the ball that way. The second thing is that I'm not as strong as those ATP Tour players, so there's a lot of disadvantages to trying to swing this way, because the racket speed is harder for me to develop, but I don't get as big an angle and I don't get as big an advantage as they do by hitting the ball high. Now, most of the people watching this that I'm helping are either a little bit older or a little bit younger. We're working with a lot of coaches and fathers who are training young players, or we're working with older players. And so also this tremendously physical, wonderful stroke is difficult to achieve. But thankfully, rather than say, no, we can't put the ball away this way, there is a better way. There's Roger Federer's way, and you can do that, I can do that, we can all learn it. So what's different with Federer? Although sometimes he will put the ball away from this high position, what Federer does when there's a high, slow, looping ball is he uses that time. And you see, when you get a slow ball, the only thing that makes it easier is that you've got a lot of time. And he uses that time to position himself so that he can always play the ball on the rise. And by playing the ball on the rise, he borrows the speed of the ball and sends it back with tremendous speed, taking away the opponent's time, but without a lot of risk. Now, some of you might be saying, yeah, but we pretty much agree that Federer is a genius. And I think he is. But this part of his game is not genius. This part was learnt. And proof of that was, if you look at 2017, when he was 37, he was better at this than at any other stage of his career. And so he learnt this and it improved. It wasn't just something that he was given as a gift. So let's go through the parts of this and how you can apply it to your game. First of all, when the ball is on the rise, what we mean is that it's on the way up. This ball I caught on the way up, and this ball I caught on the way down. This ball hits my hand with a lot of energy. This ball lands gently and benignly and is almost weightless. So we want to use that energy to send the ball back. And it's not so difficult to do. So when we've got a lot of time, the ball's floating to us, you must make sure that you make the right movements to the ball and make any little shuffling, adjusting steps. And then we're in our bounce position with the racket nice and loose. And now it's very important, this is the key. You use the strike zone the way that Federer uses the strike zone. You see, the strike zone or the hitting zone is between waist and shoulder height. But if I hit the ball at shoulder height and it's on the rise, then if I make the slightest misjudgment, then the ball is going to climb out of the strike zone. But if I aim to take every easy ball and hit it at the bottom of the hitting zone at waist height, then now if I'm slightly wrong, the ball can go higher and I can go higher. The ball can go higher and I can go higher. The ball can go higher and I can go higher, and I'm still in the strong hitting zone where I'll have control and feel. So quite simply, make a pact with yourself. Every single high floating ball that you encounter from now until the end of your tennis career, you're going to take it on the rise. If you get to the ball in time to do it, then take the ball on the rise and hit it as close to waist height as you can. If you make that pact with yourself, you're going to miss maybe 1 in 20, 1 in 25 shots, and you're going to dictate, dominate, or win the rallies in every other point. And therefore, people are going to start to be frightened, nervous, and scared of actually sending those low, slow, defensive balls to you. Now, to help to do this, I suggest that you do some self-feeding and practice. So if you take the racket back to the bounce position, and then we gently send the ball in the air and make sure that it's high enough to bounce above waist height. And then I'm going to swing and hit the ball at waist height. I'm going to do it real slow to begin. I suggest you do the same thing. So we've got the bounce, there's the stroke, waist height, and we make the stroke. And once again, so now high feed, waist height, and we make the stroke. You may find initially that you kind of abort the stroke a little bit, but watch Roger Federer, and he does the same. Many times he puts the ball away from crazy positions, but with only a less than a full stroke. But the timing of the ball, the borrowing of the energy and speed of the ball is so efficient that it doesn't matter. So practice these with self-feeds and concentrate very, very hard on taking every single high ball. Every single time that person floats the ball high, you're going to take it on the rise. Now, there's a degree of difficulty in this. And so when you miss a high ball this way, you don't need to get angry because the stroke wasn't so easy. It becomes almost impossible to play super safe tennis against a player who's effective this way. For Roger Federer, it means that balls that normal players put away, he puts away with this technique. But it also means that he can put the balls away from crazy positions where other players can't dream of attacking. Try this now, attack the ball on the rise and use this technique of making the normal swing, but make sure you're at the bottom of the strike zone and not at the top of the strike zone. Hope this works for you. I'm sure it'll make a difference to your game. Let me know if this makes sense, and you know we love your feedback and we always reply to every single comment. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe the channel please, and see you next time for more unique tennis lessons that really make a difference and really work.